Well, everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. I thought I'd bring you all along on my evening chores and give you an update on how the red wattles are performing here on our farm. It's our first year, so come along. Ooh, I need to turn that water off. So where'd you go? If you've been gone a bit and aren't sure what I'm talking about, just a quick catch up. First of all, where you been? No, last winter we had a bad farrowing. We had total loss of both of our sows' litters, and so we obviously needed pigs to grow out this year for our customers. So I went down to Copperpenny Farm in Virginia and bought some red wattles off Molly. I'd never had red wattles on the farm before, and I've always heard good things about them. And so we picked up 11. That was in February of 2023, so just this year. And those 11 we brought back, and the males needed to be castrated. Molly had not castrated them, so that was the first thing we need to do, was get ready to do some cutting. And we actually did a video of that. I can link to it here if you want to see. That was the largest, or the oldest boars I had ever castrated before. They had already been weaned, so they were probably, I think, about 8 weeks old, I believe is what Molly said. And I usually castrate mine at 7 days. So that was a little bit of a new experience for it. We covered that in the video. Everything went well. So for about 3 weeks after getting them, I kept them sequestered in, I call it our greenhouse, but it's just a homemade high tunnel there, a 18 by 25 structure. Kept them locked up there just to make sure they're going to be okay, not, all biosecurity type stuff. And in that time, also getting I call it a pasture, but it's tough to call it a pasture, but a real steep slope section that we hadn't had pigs on in a couple years. And just got all that fence dressed back up and wanted to get these guys on there because I really wanted to see how they were going to do on extremely sloped land. I know where Molly is down in Virginia, she has very similar topography that we do, so her pigs are not, they're not flatlanders. So immediately when I got the pigs, I started, since they had already been weaned, I started them on a soaked fermented feed, and this is a standard pig ration. I'm still feeding that out actually. But what I started with was a 16% protein load. So it was a little bit more than what we normally do, what would be considered in our feed store calls it a grower, pig grower more than a pig finisher. So, and we've done videos in the past of why we do this. It obviously helps with digestion, probiotics in their stomach, better feed conversion, all that type of stuff. I think they put on better weight when they're not just dealing with that powdery, dry powdery feed. And it just doesn't seem to get lost and wasted as much. So when I moved them out of the hoop house, where'd you go? I keep losing you guys. So when I moved them out of the hoop house, we put them over here in this pasture area, this wood lot. And I don't think that video is doing justice to it, but this is pretty steep. It's everything I could do. In fact, I could not walk up this because there's a rock face there. But this side, kind of hands and knees crawling type of thing, hang onto a tree. It's that steep. And I just wanted to see how they were going to do on it. If A, they would all just end up rolling down and into the ditch here and the end of it. B, would they be able to run across this land, use this land without absolutely gutting it, making such bad erosion issues that most of my dirt washes away. Well, I was happy with both outcomes. A, we did not have any dead pigs that fell off the hill, and B, they work the land. They've got some of their trails. I don't know if it's showing up in the camera, but there's like a little footpath there where they make, as they walk, they make some of these little trails that they can stay on. And they really didn't uproot a lot of stuff. Now, anywhere there was something good, a little root system, poison ivy base, that type of stuff, they wailed on. And then there was places where it was especially overgrown with multiflora and some other bushes, and I purposely dumped their feed there repeatedly throughout the feed series. So that helped them eradicate those areas. So some areas where we got a lot of heavy pressure then just came back and reseeded as we were moving them out. So they've been off here a couple weeks now, so stuff's starting to grow back. Well, enough yakking about them. Let's go lay eyes on them so you guys can see for yourself how they're doing. And you'll be able to see when I drive the feed up there the one criticism I have about these pigs. You'll notice when I bring the feed up. This is the noisiest group of pigs I have ever owned. And yeah, they're hungry, of course. I guess I make some noise too when I'm hungry. But these things, if they hear this side-by-side start up, anywhere on this farm, they go into that mode and they get loud and cranky, and I think they're cussing me. And knowing Molly, I think she trained them to cuss me. But let's throw some feed at them so we can talk. So this gang is just finishing up its seventh month of age, and really like how they're shaping up. And you'll see, I think we pointed out when we first got them, we've got, what do we got? 4, 8, 9. Yeah, so there's 9 that are that red wattle. These, it's my understanding, according to Molly, are red wattle old line Duroc mix. And I think these are a little younger. And also notice the conformation's a little less than these. These are also the ones that experienced frostbite on her farm and are missing their ear tips and their tail tips. So she's a little bit higher elevation than we are, so she's got to deal with a little bit more harsh weather. But I've really been happy with how they've not only worked on pasture, but how they've put on weight, the conformation, they're clean. They're still a little skittish. They've just done really well. They're not aggressive toward me at all. The only time that I've had any issue is, one kicked my leg out from under me just because I was in the way of the food bowl. The barrows have put on really good weight. And let me find the one the one gilt. Where are you, sweetie? There's one gilt. Yeah, there she is. So this gilt right here, she looks really good. She's got nice conformation. I like her hips, like her shoulders. Good jowl line. Teat count's good. And she's actually bigger than the rest. She's actually bigger than some of the barrows. So she looks pretty good. We may single her out for breeding. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet just what we're going to do. So last month, I switched them off of the 16% protein and dropped them down to 12. And that's, A, to save money, but B, I think it allows them to finish well, and I want them to be able to take advantage of the forage here. This area that we're on right now is an area that I haven't had pigs on for 2 years, plus, maybe 3 years. And when I did the last time, it was just my breeding sow, so they didn't put a lot of wear and tear on this. We're sitting in a little bit of a white oak grove right now. There's a hickory and a beech and a poplar. Primarily white oak easy. And so there's going to be some good mass coming on here soon. So I'm going to leave them in this area. This area is about, I think it's about 2 acres. And it's going to give them some time to hang out here for a bit. There's a lot of underbrush they can hang out in, stay cool. And I think it's going to allow them to finish well on that. So saving money going down to the 12%, but then also getting getting them to do some good forage here. So as far as processing goes, what we're looking at is most likely end of September. I want about 2 more months on them, and I just want to see how they end up. I like to finish just a little bit heavier than market weight, and I think these girls are going to get me there. And the end of September will give me an October push for my product. And what we'll do is just a couple of these are going to be sold as whole and halves, if even that, maybe just one. The rest, as of right now, we're going to process as cuts because we've started a new delivery service in the area and we're starting to get a pickup of sales, and people are eagerly anticipating the arrival of pork. Right now I don't have any pork to sell, so this is going to be my first run of pork for our new delivery service. So I think we're going to have better luck selling the cuts, and while that's more management and more storage, then I think we'll see a better profit on that. And I may end up processing them, instead of taking all of them in one processing, I may look at spreading those out over a couple months. Maybe take 2 or 3 at a time and see how that shakes out. But we'll document all that as we go along, of course. So would I do red wattles again? Yeah, I'm happy with them. I got no complaints whatsoever. The wattles are a little tough to get used to. I just want to reach over and pull one of them off. But I'm happy with them. I'm happy with they come out. And I'm very happy with the idea of just growing feeders. That not messing around with farrowing is there's some intrigue to that as well. So we may look at even doing that again next year. I think we'll still try to breed our girls, but maybe still plan on buying feeders anyway to get our numbers up. We'll just have to see how sales go over the next couple months with the delivery service, and just see what we can afford to A, keep on pasture, and B, be able to sell. Well, comment below and let me know your guys' experience with the red wattles if you've had them before, but also if you have any questions about the red wattles. I'm sure I'll probably miss some obvious things that you guys would like to know, so comment below. I'll do my best to try to answer those, and just let me know what you think or what questions are rolling around in your mind. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. Pray you have a good week. Take care.